during this time of self-isolation, it's also really important to make sure we breathe properly. Often when we get a bit stressed or we start to go into fight or flight, the first thing that changes is our breath. We either hold it because we freeze, or we start to breathe very shallowly. So what we want to do is get the lungs open. We want to get this whole upper body open. It's also really good exercise, and it gets all the serotonin and endorphins going. So what you can do is just with your hands, I did something a little bit similar to this the other day, but this is a little bit different. You're moving your hands from side to side, not above your head, in a figure of 8 motion, like you've got a big mixing bowl of cake mix in front of you and you're holding a massive beater, electric whisk, right? And you're going round like this, making a figure of 8 potion. And this is opening up your lungs. And if you do it quite slowly, and not like some kind of demented wind turbine, this will encourage you to breathe really deeply down to your core. The other thing I'm going to show you, and this is a really good tip for you parents, often, I tell you what, I'm going to have no job left at the end of all this, but I think knowledge is power. And even in my normal private sessions before the world went on lockdown, I always share as much information as possible with a 2-year-old. With an 80-year-old, I just think everybody should feel in charge of what they do and know why it's working, because then it takes it out of well-being and into scientific proof. So, if you put your hands on your tummy, this is the balloon breathing, I call it with my children, and it's known as that in yoga. So balloon breathing. So if you put your hands on your diaphragm here in your tummy, and just breathe in, breathe into your tailbone and breathe out again. Now normally if you breathe it in, your tummy should come out, because then you're going to maximum lung capacity. If you breathe in and your tummy goes in, you're doing what's called reverse breathing. And that's very often the sign of somebody who has been under fight or flight for a prolonged period of time, or trauma. Now, a lot of our kids with different or special abilities, particularly autism, ADHD, they're often naturally in their bodies born with higher cortisol levels. The enemy of the body, stress. We don't want that. So what I do is, and I get adults to do it too, we lie down. In fact, I'm going to show you. You can do it, I'll show you sitting up first. So, this is what I usually do with adults. We sit down and you breathe all the way down to the floor of your tummy, right to your tailbone. And as you breathe in, imagine you're blowing out a balloon. And then when you breathe out, your tummy goes in. I shall tell you something, I was a reverse breather, and it wasn't until I did my training with special yoga that I realised I was a reverse breather, because I'd been used to that pattern for so many years for various reasons. And it took a little while to correct it, but each night before I went to bed, I would do the balloon breaths. I'd do 10 in and 10 out. And I would do this, and then each morning when I'd wake up, I'd see which way I was breathing. And it only took 3 nights, because very quickly you reprogram the memories which you carry in your cells and the neurological programming, wiring. So what fires the brain, wires the brain, as Professor Rick Hanson so amazingly said. I love that man. I'd give him a big squish if I ever met him. But anyway, back to balloon breathing. With children, what I'll do is, I'll say to them, right, lie down. And we imagine we've got a balloon on our tummies. And for very little toddlers, they can put a toy and give them a roller coaster ride. So for instance, I'll say, when you breathe in, push your teddy up over the roller coaster, and then as you breathe out, the teddy comes down. So they start to have fun with it without you telling them there's something wrong with them. In fact, very often I'll tell them reverse breathing is a superpower, and that I used to have it too. And then when they really get into it, you can bring colour in. You know how I love colour. I must remember to lie down. So what you do is you can say, right, fill your balloon with a certain colour. And as you blow it away, you might fill it with a different colour, or it might stay the same colour and blow away. And you can ask the children afterwards, what colour was your balloon? Don't program the child if you can help it, or yourself. Just see what colours come to mind, because very often when we close our eyes, we see colours. So as you breathe in and fill your balloon, just be mindfully aware of what colour your balloon is and how amazing you feel when you blow it away. And that will correct reverse breathing. But for those of you who are breathing in a regular way, it will just boost that. And again, you're sending blood and oxygen to the brain. You're bringing the body to a point of stillness. So just to reiterate, you're easing issues and challenges. You're boosting hugely focus, attention, concentration, happy hormones, coping chemicals. And by the time you've finished, you actually want to rush off somewhere and do a huge headstand. But if you can't do that, you can, say you are in a hospital bed, or you're in a wheelchair, or you're in bed for some reason, or you can't get out, you can do this all from sitting down and achieve exactly the same. I've been quite calm today, and I shall see you soon.